Greeting viewers, today we're going to be changing out a crank sensor on a 2000 Dodge Dakota with a 3.9 liter engine. In case you guys are wondering where it's at, it's going to be right here, right underneath the wheel well. You are going to have to remove that wheel well cover. It's going to be right above the passenger side tire. That's going to be the best way to access it. Right where the exhaust manifold is on the passenger side, right behind it. I don't know if you guys can see that dipstick tube. It's connected up here straight to the back of the motor. Well, if you can see that 2-wire harness, that's right there. It has a red wire and it also has a green wire, and that runs to the top of the motor, plugs into the computer. Basically what that is, that's the harness that plugs into the back of the crank sensor, the crankshaft position sensor. Usually if you're not getting spark, or if your car's stalling out on you, like after it reaches operating temperature, that's usually a common cause of a faulty crank sensor. Usually the car will start up after it sits for a little bit, cools off. That's usually a common size of a crank sensor going faulty. The easiest way to access this is you're gonna have a little bracket. There's 2 bolts. You got one over here. Let's just see, right there, there's one, and there's the second one up top. You remove those 2 bolts and you should be able to pull that bracket back with those 2 bolts, pull it up, and you should be able to access to unplug that sensor. So we're gonna get to that right now. And the tools that I've been kind of using just to get the job done. Ratchet, I'm actually using a 1/2-inch drive. You could also, I believe it might be a 13. You know, sometimes you might have to get in there with the crescent wrench. What I do to get to that top bolt is I put the wrench in backwards, and you actually stick it on from the back and then break it loose. So I got that top one broken already. Now you're just going to want to come in to this side bolt, break that bolt, okay? This is the crankshaft position sensor on the 3.9 Dakota. You can also find them in the Dodge Ram Magnum motor with a 3.9. So pretty much, these are the bolts that were sitting up there, the ones that I told you to remove. Once you pull that up, sensor comes right out. Now this part, so the actual wire harness goes, it feeds through to the top of the motor, and just follow it up, and you'll see where it plugs into right up here at the top. There's basically a little plug that's right there, that green one. So yeah, this is basically it. Just 2 bolts, sensor comes out, put the new sensor in, fish the wire up through the top, put your 2 bolts back in, and then you're done.